Namaskar students. In the previous video, we have discussed the first point of the contractual capacity, and in today's video, we'll talk about the second and the third point, that what is the meaning of sound-mindedness and what is the meaning of disqualification for contracting. So here we'll discuss that a person who is a sound-minded person. Now, what is the meaning of sound-minded? So, sound-minded means somebody who can understand the meaning of the contract which he is making with the other party. He can actually decide on the things. He can rationally make a judgment, and he can come to know. He is aware of what is right for him, what is not right for him. What could be the consequences of making that contract? What could be the result of making that contract? What is the things which are in his own interest? What are the things which are not in interest? So if a person can decide rationally about the various aspects of the contract, so we say that that particular person is a sound-minded person. So that is obvious that he can form the contract. So now a person is a sound-minded person. We have seen in the previous slide also that a sound-minded person can form contract. According to section 11, a person can make contract if he qualifies the three conditions. First is that he should be above the age of 18 years. Second one is he should be sound-minded. So we have seen that what is the meaning of sound-minded. Now what happens if a person who is not sound-minded? In that case, we'll discuss what are those categories of people who are not sound-minded, or they are considered to be unsound-minded people, and what is the consequence or what is the result of their agreement which they make with the third party. So that we are going to discuss in today's video. So these are various types of people who are regarded as unsound-minded people. So first is which is written here, that is an idiot. So an idiot is a person who is by birth who is not able to have any kind of rationality. He cannot understand the things, the details of things. He cannot understand what is not right for him, what is right for him. He cannot make any decision on his own. So that person is treated or regarded as an idiot. So this is we can say any agreement made by such kind of person is void ab initio. So he cannot enforce any agreement. An idiot is a person, if he makes any agreement, this particular agreement is considered to be a void agreement. Next one is a lunatic. So first of all, what is the meaning of lunatic? Lunatic means there is, because of some problem, some mental strain or some kind of issue or disease, because of that a person becomes insane in some time frame, in some kind of time interval. So he is sane for a certain time duration, and after a while he can become insane also for a certain time duration. So that is known to be a lunatic person, right? So it is said, according to the Indian Contract Act, that person who comes under the intervals of lunacy or falls into the intervals of lunacy, that person can make contract, valid agreement he can make. But when he can make when he is sound-minded, when he is able to understand what is right for him, what is not right for him, right? When he can rationally make a decision and judge the things, able to judge the things. In that case, he can make decision. Otherwise, if he is not in such a state, or reverse to such state wherein he cannot think of the things properly, he cannot understand the things properly, in that case, he cannot make any valid agreement or he cannot make any contract. This is also the thing related to it. So the next point is delirious person. What is the meaning of delirious person here? Delirious means some kind of dreamlike situation wherein a person cannot decide on the things properly. Say for example, in the situation, the case of fever, a person cannot take any rational decision. He cannot make any cannot understand the things properly. So that in that particular as long as that delirious state is lasting, the person cannot make any contract. For example, somebody is having high fever. In that case, if it is told to him to solve any mathematical equation, it is not possible for that person, right? Because he cannot understand the things properly, cannot decide the things rationally, make judgment related to things. This is one thing. So in this particular delirious state, a person is treated as an unsound minded, and he cannot make any valid agreement or contract. Next one is drunken or intoxicated. So drunken means somebody is he is, because of the consumption of liquor or something like that, he is into the situation of intoxication and he cannot make any decision properly. So as far as he is under the effect of the drink or in any that kind of intoxicant, he cannot make any rational decision, and within that time duration, the person will be treated as unsound minded and he cannot make any contract. Next one is hypnotized person. Hypnotized person means somebody who is under the effect of any kind of artificial sleep. So it's an artificial sleep wherein a person cannot remain in the senses and he is artificially induced to sleep, right? So it is also one of the state which makes a person temporary not capable to make contract. Next one is mental decay. Mental decay, it may happen because of some disease or because of the poor health or some disease or some old age issue. So in that case, what happens, people when they get old, for example, their senses also come to they also decrease with the time, so they are not able to rationally decide things. They may not hear properly or see properly or something like that. So in that case, when these things are persisting, in that case, that person will be considered as unsound minded because of the senses are not working properly. They may be treated as unsound minded because they cannot understand the contract, or they might not understand the nitty-gritties of the contract. So this is also one of them. So these are the various types of people who are considered as unsound minded people. Next one is people disqualified by law. So what is the meaning of people disqualified by law? We have already seen that a minor cannot make a contract. A person who is unsound minded, he cannot make contract. And the third category is that people who are disqualified by the laws, they cannot make contract. Now this is the entire list of those people. So first that we'll discuss one by one. First is alien enemy. What is the meaning of alien enemy? Alien enemy means somebody who is a foreigner to us, means alien, right? And he is enemy also. When does it happens? For example, there is a war going on between the two nations wherein you are also residing in your country and it is having a war with some other country, for example, just in case. So that resident of that country will be treated as enemy for us. So till the time that war subsists, that person or resident of that nation will also be treated enemy for us, and since because he is belonging to the other nation, we will treat him as an alien enemy. So this is there. Next one is, so what is the thing here? That with the alien enemy, contract cannot be made till the time that war is declared, that declaration is persisting, we cannot make any valid contract with that person, right? So this is the thing. Second one is foreign sovereign or diplomats. So foreign sovereign and diplomats, what is the there is some kind of privilege, you can say that privilege is given to foreign diplomats. People who are acting as foreign diplomats with us in our country, they are giving this privilege that you also belong to your nation. You cannot sue them without their permission. So you need to get their permission before you can make a case. You can file a case against them. So this is also one of the things that we need to understand, that against the foreign diplomats or the foreign sovereigns, we cannot make any contract, means we cannot sue them. Rather, they are free to make contract. It is not limit for them. They can make contract. Why? So why we have put here? We have put here in this particular point in the Indian Contract Act, because you cannot sue them directly, right? So you need to take their if they want, only if they give their permission, only then you can make a you can sue them. So this is there. Third one is corporate. So how does it happen that a company or a corporate cannot make contract? Is it possible? Because as far as we know, that company, it starts or it begins from the contract and it ends also with the contract. So there is a contract that you have to get yourself incorporated under the Indian Companies Act. So how does it happen? Why we have included this particular term here in this particular slide, and we tell that these are the people who are disqualified by the law? Because a company can make contract only which is written in the MOA. There is a purview, there is a scope of actions are given in the MOA, Memorandum of Association of a company, and there is an object also written of that particular company. So a company needs to function within by staying in the limit of that objective clause which is mentioned in the memorandum of that company. It cannot go beyond it. If the company gets into any kind of functioning which is beyond the objective mentioned in the MOA, it will be considered as Ultra Vires Act, and Ultra Vires Act are void in nature. There is no validity to it, right? That is why a company has to function within the purview of the memorandum or within the purview of the objective of its own. It cannot go beyond it. That is why we have considered the company under the category of people disqualified by the law to make contract. Next one is insolvent. Insolvent is the person who is whose entire details, financial details are transferred to the official assignee, or you can also call him official receiver by the court. So obviously this person cannot make any contract unless he gets free, he is discharged from the insolvency. He cannot make any valid agreement. Next one is convict. Convict is somebody who's behind bars, who's imprisoned. So during that particular time duration also, a person who is convicted or who is imprisoned, he cannot make any contract. Why women cannot make any contract? They all the time make contract. They buy home, they buy car and all the assets and whatever, and they are doing jobs also. So why we have included this particular category here? Because a woman cannot, whatever contract a woman is making, it has to be, there is a term known as Tridhan. So a woman can, if she has to create any liability, that liability should be within the scope of her Stridhan only. It cannot go beyond that, right? So she cannot hold her husband responsible for any agreement which she is making. That is why we have considered women into this particular category, right? So she has to act under and according to the whatever Stridhan she is having, whatever belongings she is having in her own name, right? So she can be sued, or she can sue the other party on the basis of that, and she can make contract on the basis of that only. If willfully somebody is happy to help the wife, or parents are also happy to assist the daughter, which is okay, absolutely okay, but she cannot held responsible the family or the husband for that. So this is there. So these are the category of people who are given in under the Indian Contract Act as the people disqualified by the other law to make contract. So if you have any query, kindly put your question in the comment box. Thank you so much.